Dean, you're a big fan of Mercari. You've been a big fan for
Yeah.
years.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, like I've used it a few times. I've maybe bought like 20 things, for the whole duration of CW, right? Because it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
And all of my transactions have gone on flawlessly, right? Great sellers, great shippers. You're very protected as the buyer, right? Because the you have to review the item before the seller gets paid. It's very above water. And so I had purchased a
Above
figure, which
water.
I'll, yeah. Whoa, we getting bad echo. I purchased a figure on Mercari, and the seller had packaged it in a bubble mailer, and it was a Mafex with no box. It was a loose Mafex,
Ouch.
and
That already sounds bad.
this figure arrived in terrible shape. Now, it's nothing that I can't fix. It had a lot of paint rubs. One of the knees was really like, oh, I almost thought it was broken, but it wasn't broken. The webs, they're like the Spider-Man webs, were all like bent, and the figure literally looked like it was ran over. So I'm like, okay, like not a big deal. I can fix all these problems. I messaged the seller, hey, send me 15 bucks back. I'll deal with it. Not a big deal. And he's like, I'm so sorry. It's like one of my first few times shipping something. I didn't even think to put it in a box. Whatever. You could tell he's like a kid. And he's like, but I don't know how to refund you or do like a partial refund. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll ask Mercari customer service because on eBay, when there's an issue with the item, it's very detailed. Like you have a lot of different options for like what you can select in the dispute process.
Right.
And Mercari, I was like, there's not even a section for the item arrived, but it was damaged. There's like the item didn't arrive, or it says it was delivered, but it wasn't delivered. They're all like very black and white. There's not really any gray there. And so I messaged Mercari. I'm like, hey, this is what happened. Sent them the pictures of the item. I was like, I can't even send the seller photos. Like, it just won't let me. And so they're like, oh, yeah. So on Mercari, we actually don't do partial refunds. You either send it all back or you keep it. And I'm like, okay, so like, who's paying for me to send it back? They're like, we'll cover it. Okay, sure. But it seems like a very weird situation where it's like, I'm happy. And even I was like, look, even if you just gave me like a coupon on my next purchase, like I was trying to be as flexible as possible because I do buy on Mercari about once a month. And I was like, look, I'll take a coupon on my next purchase, like a small credit on my account, $10 would even be fine for me. They kept passing me to different reps and they would not budge on like absolutely doing nothing other than a full refund. And it seems like a really weird business model because, I mean, to ship this back might be 10, 15 bucks, sure. But I imagine like if John had gotten a third scale on Mercari that was $200 a ship and it's black and white, you either keep it or you return it on our dime. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. And I'm curious if you guys have any other interactions with customer service, collectibles stores, whatever, where you're just like, that doesn't make a lot of sense and it's not very consumer friendly. Marco, obviously you had the NECA situation and don't want to really recap that. But I'm curious
Definitely
if you
not.
guys have had any other experiences that were just very odd. I ended up keeping it, and I felt bad for the kid because he kept messaging me, and for some reason Mercari started a return without my approval, and the kid's like, "Oh my god, like I'm so sorry, like I didn't realize it was that bad that you wanted to return it." It was a whole mess of a situation. But what do you guys have? Any experiences you want to share with the people listening at home?
For me, I don't have anything personal. My only thing that I can say, like, even I think they do with, I don't know if they do it with figures, but with on the statue side is the whole smash the statue or send it back. Like, I don't understand that concept. The amount of money, especially in the climate that we're in with shipping now, to send it back, especially internationally. I sent the one third back once. Makes for me makes absolutely no sense. Maybe they use it for parts. Maybe they try to fix it and put it on sideshow seconds. Who knows? But yeah, I that's the one thing I find is having to send something back or to. I think that's pointless in today's climate.
Yeah. I guess kind of the only thing is we had a couple of those first four figure Sonic statues that arrived broken, and we just had to destroy it, which makes sense in terms of like edition sizes. It's like, there's only 500 of these. We're not going to ship you 501. You have to destroy number 500 so we could send you another number 500, which makes sense. But it just feels very weird. And it's like, oh, I have this beautiful statue. And then in the case of the Sonic one, it was just like his nose. You know, Sonic has that really pointy nose. And it had snapped off. So it just like felt weird destroying a perfectly good statue.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the only thing I could think of. That's really weird that Mercari doesn't.
And the thing that
option.
the thing that pissed me off is like, sorry, Mercari doesn't do coupons. And I sent them a screenshot of literally my inbox. I just typed Mercari coupon, and it was like 40 coupons. I'm like, you guys send coupons all the time.
I always get coupons for shit I'm never ever gonna use, like cards and stuff. And I'm like,
yeah,
give me coupons on the shit I spend a lot of money on Mercari.
that's why they don't send you coupons, bro. They're like, this fucking guy is gonna pay full price. We're not gonna fucking send him a coupon.
Simp season. So I think the only one that comes to mind, I know Sideshow is like notoriously great for replacing things, or they'll normally make it right. When my Mark 47 arrived, it was like a common issue where the shoulder pads, like the magnets would come off. So I called them like, hey, I just want replacement parts. They're like, sorry, like if we send you replacement parts, you're going to have the same issue. I was like, no, that's fine. Like I just would like a replacement. And the person I was speaking to was like insistent, like, sorry, I can't send you replacement parts because you will just have the same issue. I'm like, well, I'd like to see for myself. Are you telling me that every one of these is broken? And he just wouldn't. So ultimately they ended up giving me, I think, partial refund. But I was like, all I want are the parts. Like literally, I could have pushed it. I could have called someone else. They wound me down where I was like, just give me the gift card and I'll put it towards something else. So that was a bit annoying, but it's all good.
Someone in the chat mentioned Hasbro, and Hasbro has such weird customer service. Like they're lovely people over there. But you'll have an issue and you'll call them and you're like, hey, I got this $30 Black Series figure, and it's like it has two left feet or whatever.
Yeah, that
and
did happen to me.
They're like, okay, we're gonna look it up on our site, and of course they can't fucking find it, which is like, I don't even understand how that works because you have all the numbers on the back of the box. And they're like, okay, well, what do you collect? And it's like, well, I'd really just like, to send me a replacement of this exact thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I got it in here. Okay, we'll do that. And then like 2 weeks later, a Mission Fleet Bad Bat shows up. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
it's like some total random thing.
Remember the Deadpool that had all the shit in the box?
Yeah.
I got one of those, but it didn't have the knife holder on the boot. It just like didn't have it. And I was like, that seems very weird. So I messaged Hasbro and I was like, hey, this is like defective, right? It doesn't come with the thing. And they're like, oh, well, you could send it to us and then we'll send you a new figure. And I was like, are you going to send me Deadpool? Because they're like, no, we don't have any. So
that man just wanted your Deadpool, bro.
We'll just send you something else. And I was like, but I bought Deadpool. And they're like, yeah, we don't have any. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to send you my Deadpool. I'll just keep it then. And they're like, okay. But yeah, they refused to guarantee me a Deadpool. It was like, we'll just ship you whatever we have here.
That's such a bummer.
I was like, what the fuck?
I hate to see it.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in your doll collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
Should we lock in the artillery power?
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zack.
I'm Dean.
I'm John.
And I'm Marco.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank everyone listening live, catching us on the replay, wherever you're listening. Thank you.
We love you. We have a jam-packed show for you guys. It was to the point where I was like, God damn, we might have to cut some Hot Toys news. It was too much. It was too much news that they gave us. And we have too many sweet angels in the chat. We got Toy Mafia, Tukatri, Batman's Collecting Nightmare renewed his membership last night. You'll love to see it.
Hey.
Badfish, Punisher XS, Ben Thomas, he's packing. He's coming to America. He's going to Las Vegas, and he is going to have the time of his life. Dante's Boneyard, Sam Gist, Ninja Squirrel, Erwin, Doc Smizzle, the lovely John Ortiz, Alvin J, Draw the Line 35. I can't wait to hear this one. Benjamin Rue, Leighton Richards, Payton 23, Punisher XS, Abraham, love that guy. He watches all of our shows, and he usually tags me the next morning to tell me how good it was. Look at that, Brenton's in the chat. Shout out to Brenton. I got a sweet new this week, hopefully for next week or the following week. Thanks to Brenton. Red Wolf, Mr. Mom Collectibles, Dante's Boneyard Vegas is the best. I went every month for like a year when I lived in San Diego. Who else do we got that we haven't shouted out yet? Mr. Mom's Collectibles. Let's see. Big Dog Pound 1. Boy, my StreamYard is chugging right now.
Vein 21. What's going on, Joe?
Vein 21. Alvin J. Jesus, my little clicky thing is not
Alvin's
working.
an angel, too.
Yeah. Alvin's one of the biggest angels we have. Let's see here. Let's just scroll down the line.
What's going on, Leo?
Baby boy 562. Congrats to Marco for hitting 1K. Look at that.
Oh,
very cool.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
way to go, Dad.
Thank you all for the support.
Very big congratulations. And also congrats to Manny for hitting 500 subs. So that's great.
Heck yeah.
Jose G. Hernandez, Riley King Ding, Lemur Hernandez, Dr. Equan. Sweet, sweet angels. Yeah, we have a great show for you guys tonight. And Dean, before we get into that great show, we have a very special segment that all of our greatest shows start out with.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What did you get new this week? So I finally have what? I completely forgot what I was trying to say.
Did you have a stroke?
A resolution of
Jesus Christ.
Holy cow.
So I ordered this
Full Ben
fucking
Thomas.
comic from Beach Bum back in, I don't know, August, and it was supposed to come out in November, which it did. People have had theirs forever.
We were about to do another YouTube.
About another comic store.
Yeah,
I was about to take a hot shot at another comic store.
Yeah, me and Equan have had a huge problem getting this fucking book from Beach Bum. And like I said before, I've ordered from Beach Bum with 0 issues before. So this was like really weird. I was like, yo, what is going on? And they kept giving me the same runaround. It was like the same email every week with like slightly different wording. And so finally I got sick of it because on the website I could just order it. It was like in stock. And I was
you
like,
were
yo,
just
what?
in pre-order purgatory. That's the worst.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Just give me a fucking refund. I'll buy it somewhere else. Within like 30 minutes, I got a shipping notification after asking for a refund. Dirty. So I sent Equan a message. I was like, bro, I asked for a refund, immediately got a shipping number. He did the same thing, immediately got a shipping number.
Wow.
I'm in the little purgatory right now with Beach Bum. I'm about to send him an email. We'll see if we have an update before the end of the show.
Yeah, it's horse shit. It was like, bro, you have it in stock on your website. What's going on? Oh, well, we do that to change the, I don't know. They gave me some bullshit.
They forgot
answer.
about you, man.
I guess that's all it boiled down to. But yeah, so I got my Mando #1. I got an alternative cover because the first one was sold out, but I like this one anyway. It's cool. And then I got 2 new Sonic figures. I got Jet the Hawk. If you guys ever played Sonic Riders, he's like the antagonist to that game, where they all like ride skateboards and stuff.
Dean, how are there so many damn figures in this line? I don't understand.
Done,
you get a new one every week.
Bro, well, okay, because the new waves come out, and I'm still like 4 figures behind. It's insane.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I need Shadow, Chaos, Knuckles still, and then Cream the Rabbit's coming out in the next.
Wow, sounds like this panel.
Excuse me?
I'm not Cream the Rabbit, I promise.
Cream the Rabbit.
No, I don't know.
Call it now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I'm still hunting these figures, bro. But yeah, that was my new this week. So what about you guys?
Let's see what John got. Let's see if he picked up. Oh, he did.
Oh, yeah. I hate to see it.
Another one.
Another one. Where's my DJ Khaled clip?
Oh, yeah, I hate to see it. We should have had that ready.
Yeah, another local deal. Had to move on it. The Hush, the OG Hush Batman from the Prime 1 Hush line. Yeah, the guy was selling it at a pretty good price, so I had to jump on it. That's all. Nothing crazy. Beautiful piece.
Wow.
I'll have the review up sooner or later.
What kind of... I mean, like, I imagine the combined weight... I mean, is your foundation... Is your house going to tip? Like, what?
No,
how are you supporting all this shit? Like, you know, the structure. What are you putting these things on?
I use old furniture. Solid wood furniture.
Nice. That quality. No IKEA here.
No, wait.
IKEA.
No detolfs here.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
But, yeah, no older pieces that I have. Solid wood. And it's good because they have drawers, so I put all the swap out parts in the drawers. So it works out nicely.
Very cool. I like that piece. Now this is, I'm sorry, I may have missed it. This is a Hush Batman?
Yeah, Hush. It matches the Superman.
Oh, man.
It's a companion
beautiful.
piece to the Superman.
Wow.
What's with the gun in the back?
Where? Oh, that's the Joker gun. That's Joker's gun he dropped.
John's got that thing on him.
Oh, it just like goes there on the base?
It just lays there, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
It keys in. There's a key that it goes into, but I moved it even to the front. I like it better in the front. So, but yeah, there's a spot for it. It's cool. It's cool because the flag kind of wraps around the actual base. It hugs it appropriately.
Oh, okay, I see it.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I like that. Now Dante's saying, John, when do we get a tour of the statue display?
I could take a couple of photos. There's not much of a display yet. Still working on it, but hopefully sooner than later. It's more like hoarding at this point.
Fantastic. That's quite the haul, my friend. So Marco, you didn't have anything, right?
No, I've been patient, waiting for those jokers. So nothing for me right now.
There you go. So I had purchased 2 pre-ordered Marvel Legends on Amazon, and they weren't supposed to come until like May or June, and I got them this week. They just showed up. I didn't tell me that they were charging them or anything, so kind of a weird thing, but it was the Star-Lord and Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Really well done figures. Star-Lord in particular is great. The Rocket was a little bit of a letdown. I opened the figure, and I was like, man, this Build-A-Figure piece is tiny. It comes with the part to Cosmo. And I opened up what I thought was the Build-A-Figure piece, and it was actually Rocket. And the big piece in the box was a dog torso and a head. So a bit of a weird thing there. And then this is the Spider-Man that I got from Mercari. I already touched up all the little spots of white paint that were chipped off, which was pretty easy, and there was some chipping on the little square on the back of the palm there. So was able
is this the same body as the other Marvel Legends Black Suit Spider-Man with just the head, or what's the difference?
No. So this is Mafek. So they're like 2 totally different figures.
Wow, total casual comment right there by me.
Fucking fake fan. Yeah. So this is that same figure kind of posed up. Got him with the normal head on there.
Did you ever get the other one from the other guy?
I did actually.
So how many Black Suit Spideys you got?
I have 3 of the Mafex ones now.
You've got 3 of them Mafex, okay.
But the one that I got from Mercari was like incomplete. It was just the body, one of the heads, and a few of the hands. And then check this out, Marco. I got this today. I went to our shipping partner. They also make business cards. It's the Zack's Wonderland official.
This is
business
so beautiful.
Thank
man.
you for your
I
purchase.
Love this.
So yeah, I'm excited to get these into people's hands. I'm shipping. I actually just finished all the what is it called, Rondell, I guess, the little armor plates for Grogu. I'm pretty sure most of those should be good to go. So pending payment for a few people, but yeah, this should certainly be shipping here very soon.
So what are you doing? You're giving those out if people buy something from you?
It's just like like you buy like a comic and they might throw in like a business card or something.
Cool,
it's just like, hey, thanks for your purchase. If you have any problems with your order, we'll make it right.
So you'll get the card, just not the item, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I
You're
actually
gonna-
won't
you're
ship
gonna
it.
mirror the
period.
actual
I
company,
learned
right?
from
Yeah.
another guy, right? I learned from another guy. You just don't ship it. And no one will do anything. Apparently, the police won't do anything. No one.
And
does
the more you
anything.
talk about it live, the more people order from you. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't forget to tip.
Everybody has
Zach
problems,
Wonderland.
but they keep on ordering. You love this.
Yeah, there you go. Now let's get into the news. Hot Toys put up some latest product updates. Now, a man can only admit when he was wrong. I want to say it was last week or the week before, that I felt like Hot Toys hadn't really been keeping up with improving their figures. And I guess Howard was like, nah, fuck this guy. We're going to drop 3 of them at once. And so they now have product updates for the end suit Spider-Man from No Way Home, the Thor Love and Thunder, Mighty Thor, and the Black Panther from Wakanda Forever. And we have photos of all of them. We'll start here with Spider-Man. I think this portrait is a 10 out of 10 now. I'd always maintained, to a lot of disapproval from the listeners, that the original portrait of this figure looked like a Neanderthal, and not a lot of people agreed. People said it was a great portrait, and to me this is so much better, and I'm genuinely happy that they've made this change. I think it's great. I'm curious what you guys think about this one.
Yeah, I think Tom Holland is usually one of their stronger sculpts. Of any lineup, if you put a Tom Holland sculpt up, usually they fucking hit it out of the park. So this is cool to see. I don't remember the original sculpt, if I'm being honest. So this was a pleasant surprise.
Dean, to me, it's like almost the same exact thing. They've just like reduced the footprint of the lower half of his face, right? Like it looked like he had an underbite almost, and it seems like they've shrunk it down a bit.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with him the other day, and he says somebody pointed out that it looks like he has a baby frog in his mouth, and he's trying not to crush it. And I was like, you know what? It does look like that. Like that's what Tom Holland looks like. So every time I see a sculpt of him, I look for those features. And I honestly, like, again, Hot Toys nailed Tom Holland head sculpt. So yeah, I think this is fantastic.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here, besides the portrait changes, is the fact that now they're giving us these updates, and I hope this isn't just going to be like a one-time thing. If they can maintain this consistently, I think this would be phenomenal for them, keeping the collectors in the loop. Nice job that they didn't just do one; they're including 3 major projects. Love that they're doing this. So I think that they should continue to do this. This would be key. Especially for shows like this one where we discuss consistently and kind of get the message out to the collectors. I think it would help them greatly. So it does seem like they are listening. They are somewhat listening to us. In regards to these 3 portraits, holy mac. We're going to talk about Spidey first. I think for me, if you're going to talk about all 3 of them.
Yeah, we can cycle through.
That Shuri, that has the potential to be the best sculpt of the year. That's incredible.
Really?
No?
I don't think so.
When I saw her, I don't know, it's dependent on the angle.
There's something about the chin that it's not doing it for me.
I don't know.
But from here up, fantastic.
It's very lifelike, John. Like it looks like a small person.
Bro.
The proportions are weird on the body, but the face is beautiful.
Well, I'm talking portrait. Just portrait here. On some of the shots that like that there on the left.
Bro, that looks fantastic. That angle does look really good.
That's 100% her.
Yeah, I don't know. Like to me, they made her forehead too bulbous and her face too round. She's a very slender woman. I don't hate it, but like I don't see her like 100% here.
Cram said her head built like MODOK.
Jesus Christ.
I think this is
bulbous
to me.
We argue, not that we argue, but we say that I think Hot Toys, one of their best sculpts has been the Book of Boba Fett portrait.
Yeah.
Morrison. I think this is up there with it, if not even above it. When I saw the promo photos, we don't know if it's gonna be like this for the production.
That's
but
true.
These proto photos are stunning. In my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I
John.
think
Go
I think
ahead.
one of Hot Toys, sorry, Marco, one of Hot Toys' best improvements lately has been, and I've always said this, like I feel like they don't get dark complected characters tone right, and I feel like they've been knocking it out of the park. Like the last like 2 or 3 sculpts that I've seen, and this I think is definitely continuing that trend. I think that they've changed up their paint a bit. It looks a lot less gray, and the hair I think is fantastic. Like it's really fine, like the sculpt on the different braids. The I don't know what you call it, but like the cut in the hair I think is really well done. This looks fantastic, and I want to say that, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first time they're showing us this portrait, or have you seen this before? Because I remember when they first teased it.
First time.
Okay, yeah,
This
because
and
when they first
Natalie
teased
Portman.
it was like, oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so yeah, so this is really well done to me, and I definitely look forward to seeing this when it comes out. But Marco, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just going for the first time. No, I'm joking. So
All right,
honestly, it's kind of weird.
Unsubscribe, please.
It's kind of weird that, they kind of just dropped this all at one time. Like at first I was kind of like, all right, you should maybe like piecemeal this, because this is good news that you kind of, could have peppered out throughout a week or throughout a month. But it kind of has a cool compounding effect now that I think about it, that it's like, okay, we're bringing like 3 of our A+ sculpts, because to me, these are all incredibly strong. John, I kind of disagree in that I think this Natalie Portman might be the strongest of the 3, because this picture on the left like is spot on her. On the right, maybe the brow is a little bit oversized, but that's like my only complaints. So I really love Natalie Portman. The Spider-Man, like I said, I think it's like the lower part of his mouth might be the only adjustment that I see, but that was a figure that I was on the fence. I was like, okay, I'm probably going to get it. I was on the fence, but when they sent this update out, I went and pre-ordered it. Kind of now we don't really know, the rules in terms of pre-ordering, but it feels like there might be smaller batches upcoming. I still think this figure would be in stock, but I don't want to take a chance, because like I really like this sculpt now. I really like the figure. And the Shuri, again, I think the head needs to be scaled down a little bit. It seems way oversized. She does have a large head in real life, but yeah, incredibly strong. So it's really cool that they're going to put this out and say, hey, we're going to continue to work on our products, continue to communicate, but please, let's not have it be months until we hear from you again. Give us a Doc Ock update, give us additional figures, and let us know that you're continuing to improve your product, because there's lots of competition. And the last thing that I will say is, as long as the final product come out as strong as these prototypes or near this, because I know I was disappointed with Shang-Chi. Like the proto was really strong, and then the final seemed to have like a significant reduction in my mind. So I'm hoping that, they continue to match these prototypes as much as they can.
I want to slip something in there. The only thing I could say that would add to this, if they actually did a video, like a produced video, just showing off these 3.
Yeah.
Like we saw with InArt, how they kind of adopted that, and just showing, I think that would even be added more to it.
Yeah. And I would say, like, we did critique quite heavily what InArt did with the Pattinson, where they kind of like had that real dark background. You couldn't really see it. The sculpts weren't really the focal point. I really got to give Hot Toys a lot of praise here, because, I mean, they basically did a full figure showcase, like, brand new blogger pics or whatever, with the portraits, and I they're very clear. They're not conflicting with the background. Like, you could very clearly understand, what exactly is being shown here, and I think that's great for the for us as collectors. Sorry, John,
Austin. No, read it, please.
Austin says, this is a fun topic because Hot Toys will continue owning a market share for a very long time. Due to their licensing range and brand awareness, these updates help the quality to price, though. Go ahead, John.
My only thing with this one, the portrait's phenomenal, and I don't know how else you'd be able to engineer it, but the way the hair lays on the body is what I'm worried about. I get that Thor vibe, the first Thor that came out, that figure. It looks good here, but that's all I worry about when it comes to, let's say, moving the neck and getting different poses. It's going to be very static this
But John,
figure.
I would take this all day over if they tried to do their terrible rooted hair.
Yeah.
I'm so
Oh,
glad they got
100%.
away from
The
that.
doll wig.
Well,
Imagine this figure with
they
that.
have to. They kind of. It would be an investment for them, like because you see how the
Yeah.
Joker's coming in with the stylized hair.
I-
It would be an investment for them, but yeah,
I think that's why they gave her rolling eyes.
You can
Because
get a
you're
lot of
not-
expression.
Yeah, you're not going to
Yeah.
get it out of the neck. So
Yeah.
just
That's a great
do it
point.
with the eyes. Because they did the same thing with Ahsoka with her big
Leku?
Leku.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you're not getting a ton of movement there. I'm with Marco. I'm way for sculpted hair, only because I've owned a Black Widow and it was awful.
yes.
So this is cool to see. I think the Natalie Portman is. I think it's like if the Tom Holland is the best sculpt, and to me the Shuri is the weakest one. This one is kind of right in the middle. It's not super strong, but it's also not terrible. I just really want to see Padme. After seeing this, that's all I could think of was Padme.
And you have to wonder, are they going to revisit that sculpt? Right.
That one was already really freaking strong too.
Yeah. So
And Zach, can I put one more point on
Sure.
the whole in
Yeah,
art
yeah.
thing? So after we kind of gave them a hard time, I think there's been like really unclear messaging, right? In terms of what they put out. They said, oh, actually, we didn't really update the sculpt. It was just the hair and the lighting. And so that was kind of the wrong way to do it. And this is definitely the right way. These pictures, like you said, are clear as day, really high production values. I can tell instantly it's an improvement and got me hyped. So this is the right way to communicate with us.
All right, boys. We're changing things up just a bit tonight. 1 minute on the clock. Who wants to go first?
What a savage.
what's the
I'll go.
topic?
I'll go.
John's going first. I'll give you a few seconds to think. Name a current Hot Toys pre-order that should be revisited next. We'll put that 1 minute here on the clock here. Hot seat, 1 minute.
Fuzz, I have no idea. Okay, 89 Batman. I don't think it's a 2.0, whatever you want to call it, but I don't think they put in enough into that suit to give us the posability that should be warranted from the first release to what we're getting now. I think the base is nice. The Vicky Vale shoe is a nice touch from the flick, but I still think that figure is going to be heavily hindered, especially considering that I'll give you another example as well. The Batmobile that they're putting out as well. It's like they didn't touch it. Same molds. Everything looks the same. Could have used some tweaking to be a little bit more accurate, but I think that figure you're gonna face the same issues when trying to put him into that Batmobile.
Fantastic. Dean, a minute on the clock. What current Hot Toys pre-order should be revisited next and why?
Oh, 100% the Padme. If we're getting a Natalie Portman that looks like that coming out of the Thor movie, I think they can definitely go back and touch up the Padme because I don't think it's as strong as the Thor one. I mean, I'm looking at it right now and it's like, I know she was younger, but I don't know. They just don't have like the shape of her face all that down. And I feel like the Thor one is a lot stronger of a sculpt. That would, if they updated that, like right now, I would pre-order it immediately. Because that's a figure I've always wanted. So,
All right, Marco, a minute on the clock. What current Hot Toys should be revisited and why? And just make sure you're not on mute.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a non-sculpt one. The TVA Loki. It doesn't have the seamless forearms, and we're seeing that so often. I mean, obviously Hot Toys has done it with the Wolverine. We're seeing third-party companies do it. Obviously, InArt is doing the seamless, forearms. And so he has the rolled-up sleeves, and it would be the perfect figure for them to be like, you know what? We're implementing this technology. I know folks had speculated that maybe with Shang-Chi we might see that rolled out. Obviously, the final came out, and it wasn't the case. And so I'm not holding my breath that they would actually do it retroactively to a figure like Loki, but I think that just overall is such a cool figure, one of my favorite series from last year, that it'd just be a nice little touch. Like, hey, we just went ahead and we innovated on something that's not a head sculpt and really took the figure from a really good release to the very next level. So that's what I'd look for.
Fantastic. For me, I think you'd have to go Doc Ock. I know that was one that when they announced it, they kind of said, hey, this is like a work in progress. I would like to see the update on that work in progress. I feel like that's one that they've kind of forgotten about, and I think it's one that, for an otherwise really incredible figure, the portrait was like a huge letdown, looking like Chevy Chase. So great job there on the hot seat. Let's get into more news. Hot Toys Black Panther. This is the Adi Granov version.
Bro, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
This is one of the continue.
Let me get through this. Okay, so I there's times where I see Hot Toys doing things and I'm like, that seems really pointless. Like, you know, the neon tech I don't really enjoy. There's the chrome stuff, which I think some of it can look pretty good, but a lot of it is just taking like two things that don't really have anything to do with each other and combining them. And I feel like, you know, the fact that this is based on an illustration, like a concept, a lot of these companies are doing that, right? Like Prime One, they have their Josh and Izzy variant stuff. I know John's pretty familiar with that. So I don't hate that they're taking something that an artist has done and putting it into figure form. At least for me, that gives me a little bit more justification for this being like a Iron Man mech Black Panther. Sure, I could live with that. I think where you start to lose me is the transformation. Like, I think on its own, cool, right? Like, it's a Black Panther mech, right? Sure. And then you just have him, like, awkwardly get down on all fours, and it's a transformer, and I don't know.
First?
Yeah, for the people listening, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the Black Panther. It's like a mech, right? And it has a function in it. Well, first off, it has the luminous reflective patterns, which I think Hot Toys has done very well every time they've ever used them. You get the shield and the spear. But one of the added benefits is that the figure can sort of contort itself and either parts form or transform into a very skinny panther. And I get it, but no, like, and it, I wonder, like, one, how much damage / risk to the paint is there from doing this? Because with companies that make Transformers, that's all they do. That's a constant issue, especially when, you know, most of these figures are not, and Transformers, like, painted figures typically have a lot of issues because the parts are rubbing on each other.
Yeah.
Whereas bare plastic figures tend to age better. So I worry about that. I also worry about, you know, how solid the transformation will be, how easy it would be. It looks fairly intuitive, but, you know, again, you know, I think people tend to sometimes have issues with things that aren't probably issues. Case in point, the NR Joker magnets. And so I think it's a cool concept, but I think adding in the random transforming feature, I think, is a bit odd for me. And it is really expensive. This one is $455 with a release of April to September 2024. After tax and shipping, I mean, you're talking like over a $500 figure. And, you know, again, I can certainly appreciate the concept art. I have zero problems with that. I think adding in a transformation function, which, you know, likely may have added some cost to this, I think you kind of lose me there. One thing also to note, it does have the luminous reflective patterns, but unlike previous Black Panther figures, this one doesn't have the built-in structures on the base to light it, so you'd have to light that yourself.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a neat idea, but I just don't know that it's executed particularly well, especially when we know that Hot Toys can do this pretty neat, right? With the Mark 7, you could transform into the little pod, and from what I've heard, I don't think I've known a lot of people that had a lot of issus with that for those that chose to display it like that.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't really call it
know.
transforming as much as
It's
dismembering your Mark 7 and
yeah, well,
clicking
you're
it
not
onto
wrong.
a pod. But, you know, Zach, I know you have a lot or have had a lot of Transformers in the past.
Yeah.
And you're one of those guys that if it's really good, you want two versions to display both options, right?
Yeah, because I don't like to do the transformation because you damage the product a lot. And you could break it a lot too.
So it's like if you wanted to do that with here, you're in this for over $1,000. Like that's a tough nut to swallow. You know what I mean? But also, like, it's just why? Yeah, like, I don't see the appeal here, and maybe I'm in a minority. I don't know. Maybe someone's really excited for this. This is something I don't really know what Mech Strike is. Is that a game?
Wow.
Because they've done
casual
game figures before, like the Punisher, War Machine. The Venomized Groots, I believe, or not the Venomized Groots. The Venomized like other characters were from Galaxy, or what the hell is it called? Heroes.
What are you
Strike
saying,
Force
bro?
or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what Mech Strike is. Does
I think
anybody know what this is?
so I'm looking it up right now. There's a comic, and I guess it's also like a toy line, but it's maybe John is always right. So it's a Walmart. It's like something you buy at Walmart. But
Yikes.
I don't know. Like I'll pull it up here. It just doesn't I don't like the mixing of these things, right? Like, it reminds me. It reminds me of
one step closer to being in your local Walmart. I'm telling you.
Little Titans says, "I love this Transformer. It kind of looks like Black Panther."
And it's like, it kind of reminds me. Like I was reading the background to Secret War because I've been reading that book, and it's like when they knew they wanted to make the comic line, they needed to think of a name, so they did a lot of market research, and they found that the words secret and war on different books would lead to a lot of comic sales. So like, fuck it, let's just combine them both. Secret War, sure. And it's like, yeah, like people love mechs, yeah, people love Transformers, yeah, people love Black Panther, yeah, let's just fucking put them all together. And I don't think the end product is particularly good.
So like, people love mechs, right? What else do they like? Well, there's a lot of strikes going on in the world right now.
Mech strikes.
I don't think so. With this was a tough one to kind of analyze because I think it's a niche. I don't think we're necessarily the market for it, but it's like almost like an artist alley piece, right? It's an artist piece. It's one of those like special releases. Now, here's where it gets difficult. Where we ask for innovation, we ask for different, and that's what this is. It's innovative.
You're not wrong.
It's cool that they're able to do this. It's gonna be cool. It's like getting an Iron Man figure and lifting all the flaps and opening the leg compartments for the way they pop out and so forth. It's gonna be cool the way this is gonna be executed. I think the problem that I have is I'm all down for innovation and different stuff, but really, like we say that, well, John, the reissues are put out so that they can essentially raise money to put into new R&D and new projects and so forth. So you give us tons of reissues, and this is where you're gonna put the money for R&D and new innovation is something like this. That's where I don't necessarily agree with it. Cool side project, very niche, but I don't know. I would have liked to see something a little bit more with a little more pizzazz, something that really would have got the community talking and excited. This isn't it.
So Sunnyvale Russ says Takara Masterpiece Transformers are a third of the price. Yeah, so first of all, this thing is just way overpriced. Like, I understand when it comes to these Iron Man-esque figures, they're just expensive, right? So fine, but I am normally a fan of these mashups. I own the Punisher War Machine, love that figure. It's one of my favorite figures. Have thought about that Iron Strange, which I know most people really dislike, but I think it's a cool concept at the very least. So if this was done well, it could have been cool, but it's just so damn generic. Like, there's nothing about it that is Hot Toys like to me, minus, we haven't seen it in hand yet, so maybe it's like resembles significantly one of those War Machine figures. But beyond that, it didn't have to come from Hot Toys. If they want to do shit like this, like make a spin-off company, put it in your local Walmart, something like that. But to me, this kind of dilutes the brand because it's an interesting concept, but you're not designed. Hot Toys figures aren't sturdy. My Iron Man, I just talked about my Mark 47, the magnets falling off. Shit like that happens with the figures all the time. So you're going to expect me to transform a $500 figure and then transform it back, and you're going to guarantee me that it's not going to break? No chance. Like, the shit is going to break unless they put a lot of thought and design and effort into it, which I can't count on Hot Toys for. So I just think this is completely out of place. Not a fan of them trying this at all. And it's on top of that, it's extra offensive because if you're going to touch so as Hot Toys as a brand, if you're going to touch the Black Panther license again, all we've gotten from the film, from the latest film, is Shuri, as far as I recall. We got the Chadwick Boseman 2.0, which I'm a fan of both of those. But where's Namor? Where's M'Baku? Where is Okoye? Where are all these other figures that you could be producing from a film that maybe didn't meet expectations, but it was, it's a well-made film. You could have gone deep down that line, and instead you give us this shit. Like, it's insulting. I hate it. John, I hate to be on your on your side on this one, but it's like when you talk about Hot Toys, being in a Walmart, right? And we just pulled up the figures that are like this that are in a Walmart. It's just, I just really dislike everything about it, and it's insulting to their customers.
Hang on, I know you're about to go. That was such a well-articulated, thought-out point. I'm gonna give you a bonus point because that shit was bussin'. Yeah. That was incredible. That was a mic drop. Yeah. Real quick, let me touch this comment here. Austin says, first time watching on the stream. It's been a great one to watch as a viewer. Thanks, buddy. Dean, go ahead.
See if they touch Transformers. It would be good to see.
Well, Hot Toys has made Transformers figures. They didn't transform, but they made an Optimus Prime. I want to say maybe a Starscream also. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I was just going to say, if you go to Sideshow right now and you click on Hot Toys pre-orders, there's 127 on pre-order. Like, is this something that,
Did we need this? Is that what you're saying, Dean?
Yeah,
Did we
I'm with you. It's like you could have put any number of characters from any of those movies up for pre-order. I mean, you've made fucking Daredevil from one scene of a She-Hulk show, but you can't give us characters that have already been in multiple movies. Okoye, huge character. M'Baku, huge character. They were in not only the 2 Black Panther movies, but Endgame.
Yeah.
And
Infinity War.
I mean, shit, even fucking make Ant-Man's daughter from the new movie. It's like, she's going to be kind of the new well, I haven't watched the movie either, but just in terms of where the story's going with like Kate Bishop and stuff, you have this new wave of younger superheroes that are going to carry the franchise into the next decade. But you're giving us a transforming Black Panther that's like, doesn't even have like an actor license attached to it. Like, what is this? I don't get it.
And if it looked cooler,
I'm kind of
it
also
could be
with
cooler,
John
right?
too. It's like, hey, it's innovation, it's different, but like, I don't know.
It's an artist.
Weird, yeah.
It's like that specialty. It's like, when Hot Toys used to go to those events and they'd get a whole bunch of artists to just take figures that were out and kind of do their own take on them. That's what this is. They're getting big names attached to it. That's why you're paying $500 is because there's a big name attached to it. Is it needed? No. Am I defending them? No. But I also can't bury them when I've been asking them for innovation and something different, and that's what they're doing here. I just think that, damn, it should have been the Starfighter, right?
Yeah.
The cockpit, like the cockpit from the original trilogy that we were the Falcon, Millennium Falcon cockpit, like stuff like that. It's upsetting. This will be on sale. Guaranteed.
100%.
And I think it's the cost of progress, right? Like we've always said, right?
Yeah.
They're trying something new. Not everything's going to be a banger. I think.
Why not do this though? The limited thing, like they did the Iron Man. Would that not be smarter? The 300 thing. Sideshow's only getting 300.
I completely agree.
I think that'd get people more.
That hasn't dropped yet, right?
I don't
not
think
that I've seen.
No, I don't think.
Maybe we missed it.
It is something new, but it's just not in the spirit of what I think the company is really strong at, right? Like really producing really strong likenesses for movie properties, and this is something way out there that I don't know that anyone asked for. If you want to do limited stuff, though, do 100 of these. I get they wouldn't because they probably put a lot of R&D into this, but do 100 of these, a limited run, then we can move on with our lives.
Yeah, again, I don't think we're the market. That's the thing. I think this will sell well, just not here.
I just gotta say one thing.
Wow, I just saved myself $150.
Iconic Studios.
Oh my god, I love that way more than I should. What is that from?
It's this guy that cleans shoes on TikTok, and he has like his own soap. And his thing is like, instead of buying a new pair of Jordans, I can just buy this at the thrift store. And
I forgot that I've seen that guy. I knew that clip.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Anyway, so Iconic, which by all indication, their Ryu has, dare I say, greatly exceeded our very high expectations. That figure, I think, has just blown me away every time I've seen it. So in the pre-order for Ryu, they had a challenger. I don't remember the phrase, but like a second character coming soon, and so we're seeing that now. So Ken, pre-order opens. We're Tuesday the 4th, so April 6th, so in 2 days' time, and I'm very excited. I think a lot of the questions that we had about the durability of the body, knock on wood, I haven't seen a ton of. In fact, I haven't seen any issues with the body, so I think there's certainly a lot of confidence there. I think, as they've stated, they don't plan to reissue this Ryu, so I certainly think this is going to increase the value that you have for those that have the first Ryu. And I have zero doubt that this is going to be a home run figure, just with how much care and attention to detail that they did a Ryu. So obviously this is just a short teaser. We'll have more photos in the next few days, and we'll kind of do a deeper dive on this next week. But high level thoughts. Do you guys have anything you want to touch on this one before we move on?
No, good. It's just good to see a company stick to their word and do what they promised, and go through the rigorous testing, and live up to the hype.
I do just really quickly want to plug OFAC because I think they're going to have Andy on the show on this channel.
Oh, really?
Right,
I didn't
here.
know that. Wow.
Yeah,
look at
that's
that.
what.
Look at that.
So I think that's going to be
boys.
happening soon. Yeah. So really interested to see more about this figure. And the only thing I would say is, the tease that we got had the long hair Ken, which I think is from Street Fighter V, right, or Street Fighter V Alpha. But I really want the short-haired Ken from Street Fighter 2. Like that's the one that I know. So it'd be great if we kind of had different styles with different head sculpts. That might be asking too much, but that's really the only thing I'd want.
That's too much.
One thing here, Big Dog Pound 1 says, do you guys know where you can get a Ryu for retail? Honestly, I would start making phone calls to your local comic stores because Iconic put up a post, I want to say it was Sunday or Monday yesterday, that Ryu, as far as their orders go, are officially sold out, and any extra that they have will basically just be from cancellations. So, I certainly, at this point, you're probably going to have to go secondary market, and with this announcement, that may be quite high. Marco, you want me to go and bring this one in for us here?
Perhaps, yeah, if you just want to show some additional detail. Yeah. This was from the Ryu final products, and this was the tease here. And again, I just don't love the long hair. I think it could be cool, but that's not the Ken.
He's always had long hair.
I thought he had the short little cut. I could be wrong there, but
no, Ken's always had long hair.
All right, well, I'm a casual then.
Oh yeah, I think maybe in like recent games he's had short hair, but yeah, I mean, I've been playing Street Fighter forever, and he's always had long hair.
All right, fair enough.
Well, there's that. And this is another update here. So this is their Patrick Bateman. This is coming very soon. They did put a disclosure that this is unedited and unaltered, smartphone photos taken with the Pixel 4 XL camera mode / portrait mode. I think it looks good. I think, I still need to see more photos of this, but based on how good the Ryu came out and based on all the expectations that they met and exceeded for that figure, I have no doubts on this. I know the sculpt on the right, the bloody sculpt, did take a lot of time for them to produce. They had kind of mentioned in some updates that we've also shared here on our show that sculpting and casting this piece in multiple pieces and having it fit their tolerances was quite difficult, and that's why the figure was delayed. So it's good to see, essentially what might be a look at the quality of the final product in these photos. And again, very clear photos. Perhaps maybe a bit of a contrast on the background would be nice, but it's certainly clear enough to get a good idea of the details and the quality that you're working with here. So again, I commend Iconic on the way that they're sharing these photos, the complete disclosure that these are unedited photos, and again, the fact that they did have a delay, but they're chugging along and they're hoping to have this in people's hands very soon.
Marco,
Polo,
you were right about Ken's hair.
Yeah, I guess short isn't
It's
the way to-
longer, but
long.
it's short.
It doesn't have a
yeah.
ponytail though.
Yeah, that's.
Can we hit the button?
Dude, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my god,
No,
he does
please
have
don't.
short hair.
Please do it.
But anyway, yeah, this Patrick Bateman. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this figure. I think it looks fantastic. I know it got delayed a little bit, but if that means a better product at the end of the day, I'm all for it. So these are looking fantastic. I know. Who was it? I think it was 12-inch Moose Stream. I think was really looking forward to this. So yeah, it's really cool to see it coming out soon.
Very cool. Let's move on here. Perhaps a little bit less good, at least in my opinion. Daft Toys Harvey Dent. This one's 194, releasing Q4 2023. I really like the detail here on the microphone flags. I haven't double checked the references from the film, but I know GCN for sure is one of the different branding things that you see in that film. I want to say though the portrait, I don't know, it's very, very, very idealized.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of stylized.
Yeah, it's very stylized, and not only that, but they give you. I'm certainly not complaining that they're giving you this for the price, but they're giving you that Two-Face portrait. But I don't think the outfit has the the charring on it, at least from this photo here.
Right.
They did say that the product will be modified according to the movie, so I don't know if that just means the placard, which looks like it has the presidential seal on it, if it will just have the more accurate seal from the movie. But this is cool. I don't love it. I don't hate it. There are some neat accessories. The I Believe in Harvey Dent, the coin, the pistol. I really hate it though when companies put shoes in the accessories thing. I don't like that. But yeah, it's not really an accessory. But yeah, this portrait, I think it just looks a bit off, and I would say the Two-Face portrait looks much better. It looks much less idealized. But for 194, it's not too bad.
What do you think if they did? Yeah, that's what I mean. So 194 for all that you're getting here, the body,
which is a lot, honestly.
Yeah. So how about if you just invested in a Hot Toys portrait and threw that on here? Because even if you were to get the first generation one, I think even that would be a good representation.
So John, it does look like the Two-Face sculpt is a recast of the Hot Toys, though.
Oh,
so
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have the Two-Face in it. It doesn't look like that. That's for sure. That hair
doesn't look like this one.
It doesn't look like that whatsoever.
You have the first one or the second one?
I have the first one.
John would never get a reissue. What's wrong with you?
I think maybe the
there you go. What about a remake?
The charred one looks like it, but not
yeah.
This
That's
Harvey
what.
Dent.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what Marco was saying.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, I'm referring to
the non-damaged.
non-damaged.
I see.
Portrait. If you were to pick one of those up,
and honestly,
first generation.
John, you make a good point there because these flags are going to be quite large. What is it? The dais, I guess, that he's standing in front of. That's going to be pretty large, and if it's made of resin or thick plastic, if it's made of high quality cardboard, I have a problem. But if it's made
what
of
about styrofoam?
Oh, Dean,
I don't know.
Free figure.
Are you buying some? I don't know. I think the more I look at it, the less upset about this I am, and especially if they use some high quality materials on that briefcase. It almost looks like pleather in this photo, but I don't know. Maybe there is something here.
There's potential.
And I think Daft Toys has a good track record with these Batman figures, so there's some potential. But yeah, this face is off for sure.
Zach, you said that the suit doesn't have the char effect, and it kind of reminds me of the. I was listening to a comedian one time, and he said he was wearing a suit, and he fell asleep somewhere, and the security guard came in and was like, "Hey, you can't sleep here," and shoot him off like he was homeless. And he's like, "Bro, I'm in a suit. Like what?" And he was like, "You know what? What if it was my first day being homeless and I was still clean?" And it kind of reminds me, it's like Two-Face only had the char suit on because it had like just happened. But what if it's like his second day being Two-Face, and he just has a regular suit? He's not going to go home and char all his suits.
That's amazing.
That's pretty good.
It's year 2 Two-Face. How about that?
Day 2
Between
Two-Face.
Yeah.
His wounds haven't healed, but his clothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we get like Rachel in a baggie or something?
Wow. Jesus Christ! Wow! Just don't dust the figure.
Why'd you choose me? I chose her. I brought her here.
Oh my
Jesus Christ!
I love the poorly educated.
Now, Kit put up a post. This is shared from the Hot Toys community on Reddit. Shout out to the Reddit boys. Both the sculpted hair version, both sculpted hair versions will be fully released on the NR Joker around the second week of April, and we'll start to count the leftover stocks and put them up for sale. So, seems like almost everyone that I know that had ordered it, with the exception of Marco, Ben, and John, seemed to have gotten their stuff.
And we were the first ones to order too.
Yeah, you guys were. That's what happens when you order it first on the window. Everyone
I
else
ordered
gets put...
March 22nd, so.
But this is saying sculpted, and my sculpted is on the way, so I should have my sculpted single pack this week.
So you got a notification?
Well, you got both?
I did get both.
He has 3 Jokers coming.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Probably too many Jokers,
You're
but I couldn't decide.
Madman.
I couldn't decide. But yeah, so at least that version's on the way, but I think the rooted Kit's got no clue when those
Is
are
that
coming,
what
so.
that empty shelf is next to your head for?
Oh yeah. He will be going right there.
Okay.
Hold on a
I
second.
was going to ask you earlier in the show.
Rachel figure.
Marco, he doesn't know. This is just for sculpted that they're referring to?
That's correct.
This is just for sculpted, yeah. So for rooted, he's got no ETA, at least from what I've seen. I've been following his group.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way,
I've already paid mine off at this point, so I'm just waiting for that shipping note. Anyways, go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, before I forget, I know a lot of people are heading out or getting ready to begin traveling to London for Celebration, so appreciate you guys being here tonight. Safe travels. Enjoy Celebration. If you're going to be at Celebration, track down Ian and Pete. They're on the auxiliary group. They have stickers that they're handing out. Just mention you're a listener, subscriber. Show them you're subscribed, and they'll give you a sticker for free. So.
CC will be there too, so say hi to CC.
Yeah, CC will be there too. Look at that.
I think there's some funny business here. That's pure speculation, but I know we ordered day 1, and I've seen people getting their rooted, so I don't know. Maybe it's because we're Canadian. I'm Canadian, but...
John, it is tough because you ordered day 1, so that's the scary part, because I know I ordered probably on the last day, maybe like the night of the second day. So I'm not anticipating mine for a while, but if you're still day 1 order number, it's that's tough.
I haven't been bothering him, right? So I haven't messaged him once saying, "Hey, is my order ready? I ordered day 1, this and that." I'm on YouTube. If you don't send it to me, I'm gonna rip you into 2 halves. But I wouldn't do that, of course. But I'm in no rush, so whatever. Take the time. I just better not get one that's half-ass.
You have 2 left feet. So there's that. Now, we missed this last week, and if you know me, you know I never miss a chance to say Jesse on the show. So Hot Toys released this figure, and certainly not my favorite clone. Certainly my favorite name for a clone. Yeah, it looks good. It looks pretty good. I've seen some pictures, some of the blogger photos. Very impressive. And it wasn't until Dean mentioned he doesn't have an ARC Trooper helmet that, I realized that. So look at Hot Toys. I think they got this one right, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, because I always get confused on which helmet he should have, but I believe this is correct.
Yeah.
Also, first Hot Toys ARC Trooper. So that kind of opens the gates to hopefully get more. We got Colt, Blitz, Havoc. There's a couple more. I don't remember their names, but
5's Echo.
Can you inform me on what an ARC...
No, but there's 2 more. There's a red one and a blue one. I don't remember what they are.
What is an ARC Trooper? Because I'm a total,
Advanced
Clone Wars
Recon
casual.
Commando. Some of the first clones trained by Jango Fett. And
oh wow.
The what is that guy? ARC 117, I think.
Yeah, they're like Well, I don't know.
They're
It's
like the
'cause
special ops of the clone army.
But then you
trained
have
differently.
commandos. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, they are commandos. They're advanced recon commandos. They're basically like the guys that, they're not really like in the traditional military structure. They kind of are on their own path. They're trained differently. They have more free thinking.
They're like SEAL Team
They're more
6.
individual rather.
Wow.
Individual.
Individual.
Wow. A little Freudian
I'm
slip there.
individuals too.
Yeah, I am. Anyways, so there's that. The episode 2 Clone Pilot was also released, and this is really cool because on this one you get the Clone Wars animated style helmet. Again, wonderful paint and sculpt and weathering by Hot Toys. This is one that I was never particularly interested in. You never really see them just on the ground. They're always, obviously in their little cockpits. So, I don't know. This one always felt a bit odd to me, but I'm curious if you guys have picked this one up.
No, but you'll be happy with it. Hot Toys clones are fucking awesome as shit. So any clone is a plus in the collection. So I'm not gonna trip over myself to get this, but if one finds its way into my collection one day, I'll be happy.
But does it transform?
These are some.
Yeah.
I guess you could take the head off. You could parts form. 12-inch Moose Stream says I messaged Kit and was told current order number being shipped were 610 units lower than my number. And then Black Tom Cruise says I was waiting just like you guys. Then I ended up shooting him a message and he sent me the invoice right then. So
maybe it's because they're a
sure.
celebrity though. So
of course. Joe P says Spec Fiction taking a while to get any jokers. So
I would
there
be
is
curious if I
that.
messaged him if he would ship it right away. I'd be curious. Just to
John,
see.
you should ask him when will the order ship. Speaking of which,
Wow.
Hot Toys When Woo release.
seems suspect.
Bro, talk about
Zack, you
fucking.
suck.
How dare you?
No, that was brilliant, dude. That was.
When I was gonna get about to say something, this guy kills.
Bless you.
That was pretty good though.
That was a transition unlike anything I've ever seen.
I'm gonna say, hey kid, when will I get my figure?
There you go.
Tomorrow? No. I should get my NRD back if I want to cancel. That's what I say. But go continue.
I mean, I don't think, honestly, I don't think you'd have a problem selling it if you went through with it.
Yeah.
But I also don't think Kit has a shortage of people that would happily take your order, or
sure.
you would be able to find someone. So
But you think he'd actually give me the money and be honest about that? I doubt it.
he's pretty.
He is. He is.
on
It's
the
pretty
up-
fair, yeah.
above water, as they say, as some say
See
at
what
least.
happens.
Yeah, Hot Toys Win Woo. I still think this is one of their finest portraits. I
Bro,
think
this
it's great.
looks so good.
And the forearm sculpt looks great. This, I wasn't that impressed, to be honest, with the Shang-Chi. This, though, is fucking awesome. I like it.
Yeah. This is going to be like a future grail, I think. We were talking about this on Will's show the other day. This is not a figure that you'll probably ever see again. He's not going to be in any other movie moving forward, definitely. So unless they
they're
do,
making
like,
the suited version of him.
yeah, which is what, limited like
edition.
300 or something.
That one's
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Yeah, so this is, I think, potentially a grail figure for a lot of people if you don't buy it now.
Yeah.
That once this dries up, I think, this is it's a really, really strong figure.
I agree. Now, this figure is very interesting. This is the Ultron What If from the animated series. I've seen one post that has said this, so this is unconfirmed. Perhaps one of you guys in the comments can confirm this for me. Someone said the whole figure is die-cast, which blows my mind, if that's true.
I don't know,
but
dude,
yeah,
that
this
cape looks soft goods.
Well, not the cape.
That'll be
Okay,
expensive.
well, that's not what you
freaking
said. You
guy.
said the whole
armor.
figure.
Oh my god, okay, the armor. I think this
That'd
looks
be cool.
fucking awesome. This is one of my
Bro.
favorite what
See,
if.
like this is innovation in
episodes.
R&D sort of thing.
This is fucking cool.
It's different.
This is what Ultron should have looked like, to be fair, in the movie. It's got that classic Ultron comic book style look to it, but it's updated and sleek looking like the movies. I think this is so cool. Another potential Grail figure, I'm not going out of my way to get this, and if I find one at a decent enough price, I'll get it, but yeah, it's fucking cool. I like it.
I agree. I think it's different. It's nice. a little late, but whatever. I'm not gonna be too negative, but I think it's cool. I think it's different. If this is all diecast, the heft of this is gonna be insane.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. I just don't love the proportions, and that's just obviously it's true to the source material, but to me, I think it would just look a bit odd if you wanted to put it next to like live action figures because he's just so top heavy. I get he's an android, he's a robot, so he could look at like whatever he wants, but to me that's kind of a bit goofy. What was that, John?
Can he make a call?
Can he make a call?
You said he's an
Android. I see. Jesus, I got you.
Come on,
wow.
A little slow on that one.
Fucking dad jokes, dude.
The Iron Man 3 Hot Toys Silver Centurion suit up was also released. I just feel like I'm gonna break this just by looking at it, but I will say the light ups
cool,
on this look insane.
It's different.
Again, a very important comic suit in the comics. Used just for I think like a minute on screen, a memorable minute, nonetheless. But yeah, this one's really expensive though, so not something that I am particularly interested in on this one.
Have you guys confirmed at all? Anyone who's been around, as if it's the Bones suit underneath this? Because
that is the black
I
and
heard
gold.
that, and that's upsetting.
Yeah, I think it's all the Bones suits they didn't sell. Boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. Unless you're a completionist, like it just doesn't really serve any kind of purpose. Like you can't do anything with it. You could put a Tony. I think it comes with like a face sculpt, and it just looks goofy as shit. Like I don't know. I don't like this at all. I think it has zero redeeming qualities.
Really?
Going back to the kit thing here, 12-inch Moose Stream. Thank you very much. He sent us an email from Kit. Their shipping order 76220 for those rooted jokers. So.
Where do we get our order numbers on our invoice?
Most likely, yeah. Let's move on here because we do have a back half of the show here. If you want to save $10 off, speaking of Kit, we've mentioned him a lot tonight. If you want to save $10 off your first purchase with 16 Kit, use code CW10, $10 off your first purchase with them, or if it's not your first purchase, the first time you use the code, you'll get $10 off. For Off the Racks collectibles, you can get $15 off your $100 purchase with code CW. Again, just CW on Off the Racks collectibles. That comes off the final payment if it's a pre-order item, or you can take it off immediately if it's in stock. So plenty of good figures there, great prices, fast shipping on both of these guys. And yeah. Our topic for tonight, unexpected finds. This weekend, I'm a big guy, and I was like, you know what? I need to go get a bunch of clothes because I'm enormous. And I went to a few different places, didn't really find anything I liked. And so I was like, you know what? I was meeting a fellow collector near a thrift store for a deal. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and check out this thrift store. It's a pass by it all the time. I've never gone inside. Go check it out. We're there for like 30 minutes. And when I walked in, I had seen this collectible behind the counter, but I thought it was a big collectible, but I thought it was like one of those like coin banks. And some of those are sculpted and the paint is pretty good, but there's obviously a big slot in the back and then big hole in the thing to open get your coins out. So I didn't think too much about it. And it wasn't until we went to check out that I saw this. And it was a Sideshow premium format maquette of She-Hulk. And I was like, holy shit. And so I know a few people that are into She-Hulk and called them up. I was almost certain Danny was going to want to buy it, but they were asking $250 for it, which is not a bad price at all. It was the exclusive edition. And once you factor in shipping and I have to pay extra to get it like really packed securely and for insurance, it might not be worth his money to get it. But I just was not expecting to find, like, I always have this recurring dream where I go to like one of these things or a garage sale and someone's like selling Hot Toys for like, dirt cheap, or like these figures that I'm collecting at the time for dirt cheap. And it never happens. And on a total whim on a random Sunday at a thrift store to find like I don't know if this is the most rare premium format or maquette the Sideshow's ever made, but a low numbered exclusive edition statue in pretty decent shape. There was a few paint rubs on the neck. I was just shocked. I was totally taken aback. And so Rainer picked it up. I don't know if it's for his personal collection or for his store inventory, but it's not at that thrift store anymore. So if you wanted one, unfortunately, it's been sold already. But I was blown away, and just goes to show, like, you go to these different thrift stores or garage sales, you never know what you're gonna find. And I'm curious for you guys, if you wanted to share some experience or a story of an unexpected find that you've found in the wild. Commander Cook says, Harley Quinn Suicide Squad first release version, $250. It's a great price. I sold one that was damaged and incomplete for about that price on auction a long time ago. But Dean, any unexpected finds you want to share?
There was one, and I guess it's not super unexpected, but I really love the game Mass Effect, and they made figures for Mass Effect 2, and they weren't particularly good, but they made like the whole team, and that game came out like at a time where I wasn't really collecting, and I didn't even really know they existed. So by the time I get around to picking these things up, they're very expensive, and just like not readily available. Maybe like $100 each, like in box. And there's like 8 members of the team, so I kind of just bought one and forgot about it. I got Commander Shepard. Well, one day I was at the comic book store here. It's called Alien Worlds, and they have like discount bins. They're just like loose figures that they get, and they price them and throw them in these bins. And I always make it a habit to go check out to see what they have. And I opened one of the bins one day, and they had every single member of the team for like $15 each. So I bought everybody. I was like, fuck yeah, finally. I've been looking for these guys. And that's happened a few times at Alien Worlds where I've gone and I've found like a very hard to find figure for not too terrible of a price. So shout out Alien Worlds.
For me personally, it was not necessarily shop, but it happens sometimes on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace. That place is a gold mine. Like, you won't even be looking for something, and it will just pop up. That kind of happened to me with this Superman. I was looking for one. Prices all over the place were kind of ridiculous. And then one day I was, I don't know if I was looking or someone tagged me, but I was scrolling and I finally found one, and I'm like, there's no way this thing is still available. Jumped on it, boom. But I've never been lucky enough to find it at a thrift store. Sometimes you're in a plaza, you'll just pop in. I usually do pop in just to look at the toys and like if they have any figures or even video games or whatever. But never been lucky that way. Even garage sales, same thing. It's always usually crap.
Yeah, so I have a story from my childhood, and apologies because I don't have all the specifics, and but this is a pretty core memory of mine. So my dad and I were at a flea market, and he'd always pick up figures for me. Normally, like Dean would say, like in the Ziplocs, right? Is how we'd normally get them. But someone had a set of the GI Joes, and I want to say it was like the first wave of the what scale were the original GI Joe? Not the larger
3
ones.
3/4.
There you go. So someone had those all like great condition in the box, and my dad was like looking at it. I think they wanted a little too much, and then we left. And in the car, he was like, "Shit!" He knew. He's like, "Shit! I should go back for those GI Joes." So he left me in the car. Really responsible dad. Went and got the GI Joes.
Marco was
and
all
then
hot. It was all sweaty.
Yeah, that's right. I was dying. Didn't even roll down the windows. But then, so then you go back home, and like this is like I think at the start of eBay, he like looks them up, and they were going for crazy money. And I wanted to say he ended up selling them online for like a few $1,000 for something that he maybe paid like $100 for at this flea market. And then he was really into, I talked about the starting lineups. So basically took all that money and then bought a bunch of starting lineups with it. So I just remember that being the coolest thing. Now, some people may say, he flipped it and took advantage of this person that was selling. But to me, I thought it was, the free market operating as it should.
There you go. Mark Pearson says, never had anything like that. Usually I see early 2000s sideshow figures that sell for $60 at shops for $250. A couple of Facebook Marketplace deals, but never in stores. David says a custom frame Josie Wales artwork still hanging in the game room today for $4. Philip the Fool got a 12-inch Venom Marvel Legends at a garage sale for $8. The best deal I've ever found in the wild. I remember when I first got into collecting Victoria. Well, I had found a post on Facebook. A lot of people were randomly finding Black Series Anakin Skywalkers at Ross. And this was like a $100 figure, and they'd been sold out for a few years. And so I was like, hey, Victoria, go check your Ross after work. And I'll never forget core memory being on the phone. She's like, oh, like, is this the one that you wanted? And she's like describing. I'm like, yeah, like, how many do they have? And she's like, oh, they have 3 of them. Do we just get all 3? And it was like a triple Ross Anakin, like $8 deal. And yeah, I traded those for like so many things.
Hell yeah.
Black Tom Cruise, I won a Hot Toy Suicide Squad Batman off eBay for $150.
Nice.
Philo Mike says, wait, is your dad Gary V? So that's my story. Let's talk. This is a question that we've had kind of in our drafts for a while. And this is from John. What part of your collection would you liquidate today to buy something else you want more of if you could get full value back for it? Now, John, I'm going to start with you because it's something that you're going through now. Mm-hmm. And I want to hear the story.
Best thing that hasn't been touched yet, OT Star Wars. The original trilogy Star Wars, Gonzo. Evaporated. Everything. Yeah, it's the only thing that really hasn't been touched by reissues, and I've been affected. And I'm not selling it necessarily just because of that. It was as well, I opened up some of them, and I felt like I didn't have the connection to them that I once did. So I cut them out and kind of reinvested the money into some other pieces more on the statue side. Not to say that I completely want to leave 6 scale, because I still do enjoy having that representation. Like, I have all my Batman 89 stuff, Back to the Future, a few of the specialty pieces like King Leonidas and Blade, and even the Enterbay stuff. So I don't think I'll leave the figures completely. And of course, I'm always on the sidelines with Hot Toys. Once I start seeing that, their business practices kind of pivot, I'll be there to support them. But yeah, I think that's why I get really passionate about the fact that having reissues is if someone like me who wants to pivot their collection, I purchased these back in the day, and yeah, they had some value, so it helps do that pivot. And I think that's healthy as a collector to have that availability and option to sell something that's gained a little bit of value and kind of reinvest it in another part of the hobby. I think it's healthy for the hobby to sustain the hobby as well.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So there's a few things that I've sold and I'm planning to sell. Selling a few of my 5 Hot Toys. I have more than that, but just a few of them. Funding some comics from Cuervo. Some different key first appearances. Some symbiote Spider-Man keys. So always love that. By the way, Dean, I really do. My apologies. I really do need to get. We need to get with that comic cleaner and get our books sent out. That's my bad. But we'll figure that out this weekend. I had a kind of a crazy situation come up. Brenton had let me know that this statue that I've been looking at, that I've been on waitlist for like 6 months, was on Sideshow Seconds, and so I had canceled an order, or I'm going to cancel tomorrow an order that I have, and put that money basically towards the statue. And so yeah, I mean, definitely canceling some 6 scale, definitely getting rid of some Black Series. I have a bunch of clones that I need to sell. So if you need Black Series clones, holla at your boy, because I got like 30 of them that I'm trying to sell. Just to kind of get into some statues and stuff. So, yeah, statues, comics, kind of like John, a little bit more limited stuff that's numbered, or stuff that a finite amount of people have. That, what I really like about comics is no matter how many facsimiles they print, there will always only ever be a certain number of first prints of the books that I own. So I think that's pretty neat, even though they're not 9.8s. That it's pretty respectable grades that I'm getting them for. Great price, great guy, and to be able to pass that down to Vivi when she's older, maybe pay off some college stuff or something. Pablo says, this year I got a Mark II Whiplash on eBay for $250. Couldn't believe the seller accepted my offer. Look at that. Danny says she wants to see Kevin. Marco, or anyone else, if you guys want to chime in here, love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, so I don't think there's like a whole lot in my collection that I would, liquidate. I think I've really, I've made an effort to get things that I really enjoy or have a connection to. That being said, there are a few properties or a few things like one-offs here in terms of Marvel, or I'm thinking of the Clone Wars line. I'm obviously not that into Clone Wars. If they had to go, that would probably be the first to go. If I was getting, full market value to then put into something, and it would be a property that I really love. Or characters that I really love. I would say there's not a lot of things that stick out that I would want to liquidate. I just kind of view these all as like, these are my things now. And I'm hoping not to have to sell too many. But you never know. You run out of space, and then one of these days, some things may have to go.
I love Mark's comment. Best deal I ever got was collecting weekly Patreon.
There you
feel
go.
like I'm stealing. You'll
love to see it.
What a sweetheart. Yeah, if I had to liquidate some stuff, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm super into Elden Ring.
I've heard.
And
it's news to me. Do you have any friends that you like play with, or like I don't know?
Actually, I
used to.
I don't. Yeah, they.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know what happened, but they
I
couldn't
thought there was
hack
some
it.
friends that at one point said they were going to play with you a lot. And
Yeah, they said that. They
Is
did
it
say that.
gold or silver?
the ring.
Who the fuck threw that motherfucking busted ass goddamn Adidas?
I'm sorry, I've
been
been playing
waiting
that
for
clip in
that
so
clip.
long.
Anyway, yeah, the whole FromSoft series, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, incredibly fantastic game. Elden Ring. I have found that these things have brought me a lot of joy, and I love them a lot. And Zach, they're kind of like, which is funny because they're very inspired by Berserk. Berserk stuff is like not very around, and it's very expensive if you find it. It's very annoying. It's like, for something so popular, why is this shit not produced so much? So anything related to FromSoft games is very expensive if you find it. So if I were to buy some of that older stuff, I would probably liquidate my Game of Thrones stuff and my Marvel stuff to fund those kinds of stuff, those things, because there's some really cool statues that are $600-700, which isn't too terrible. But then you get more expensive stuff, like the Prime 1 stuff is very expensive now.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's just some really cool pieces that I would like to add, but they're fucking pricey. So,
has your Marvel stuff lost any of the charm? Knowing that the franchise feels like it's going downhill a bit.
Well, not only is it going downhill, but like for most of the characters, it's like there's 8 versions of them anyway. So it's like if I really wanted one, I could find one later. I mean, shit, they're still coming out with Captain America's. So it's like, do I really need the Civil War one? Not really. So, yeah, it'd be very easy. The only one I probably wouldn't get rid of is my the Tony Stark one that I won, but I paid $10 for it. It's like a $400 set, So,
yeah.
Was that the
one of the worst moments of my life?
I think I that was the one, the workshop one, right?
Yeah. From Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Mech
I don't
Test.
remember what the
one of
last
the worst moments of my life.
what the last Marvel figure was that I picked up.
Abe says, bought a $200 shoe for $130. I hope you got both shoes for that price, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got both.
No,
I'd
that's
say that's
exactly
the
the
same.
same thing. Marco, you're in the shoe game.
Yeah, pretty much out of it now, only because I've taken a lot of L's recently. It's like you want something, you go to try to get it, you wake up early, and then you can't get it. That's why I'd
That's
rather
called
have
collecting.
Hot Toys.
That's called
But if
collecting.
you really want that thing and I'm ready to give them my money, I should be able to get that thing anyways.
No, that's entitled collecting.
There you go. Let's move forward here. Let's round the corner. Netflix, from executive producers Edgar Wright, Brian Lee O'Malley, and Ben David Grabinski. Wow, this is a sentence, and is animated by Science Saru. The
Awesome.
voices of the Scott Pilgrim anime. I'm not even going to attempt to read these. This is cool. I actually don't. I'll be honest. The movie is pretty good. I do have a connection to this now, though. So this weekend we were at that thrift store, and we were waiting to figure out if like Rainer needed us to pick up the statue or not. So we stopped at Otaku Cafe, and they have an arcade in the back, and it's super cheap. It's like $5 for an hour, and so we're like, okay, we'll play arcade with Vivi. And they had the arcade Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
That's such a cool game.
And I felt bad because a lot of the arcade that they had is like Dance Dance Revolution or like very time-based games that Vivi was really struggling with. And so I was really happy to see a beat 'em up because she was just smashing the buttons and having the time of her life. We played like the whole hour on Scott Pilgrim, so very fantastic memory. But yeah, so it's cool to see this get an anime. I maybe have to revisit the film, but I think I've seen it once for Movie of the Week. I loved it.
Dude, everyone loved it for Movie of the Week. We got a lot of praise for that. But if you're a fan of the movie, it's all the original actors in that movie coming back to reprise their roles. So if you're a fan of the movie, the anime should, shaping up to be pretty cool.
This is going to be awesome.
Mary Elizabeth Reinstead was the co-lead for that.
Who?
She was. She just had
Ramona
different hair,
Flowers.
so you don't recognize her.
Oh.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth Weinstein.
She's an underrated baddie, honestly.
Bro.
Very underrated.
Such a baddie.
Can I ask a question that's tangential to this? But since Vivi
Yes.
was into the beat 'em up, are you going to transition her into any other ones, like maybe Ninja Turtles or Simpsons, like anything that we grew up on?
Turtles in Time, all-time GOAT game. I mean, it just depends. Like, I don't have an arcade cabinet, so it's really what's would like the Switch.
But you could do like a Raspberry Pi and plug it into the TV, right? Or the Switch.
Yeah,
like you're
possibly.
saying.
Yeah, possibly. I know the Scott Pilgrim game. It does have a port for the Switch, so you just
nice.
pop it right in. So, yeah, definitely. I just know she had a blast, right? Because she was getting really pissed, like that these some of these games were too difficult for her.
Cheating.
But yeah, she had a great time with that one. Anyways, let's move on. John Wick, our blockbuster movie of the week. Legendary assassin John Wick retired from his violent career after marrying the love of his life. Her sudden death leaves John in deep mourning with sadistic mobster. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Yosef Tarasov and his thugs steal John's prized car and kill the puppy that was a last gift from his wife. John unleashes the remorseless killing machine within and seeks vengeance. This movie is fantastic. You always hear about these movies that are like universally praised, and you wonder like, can it be that good, right? And I'm kind of struggling with that. With not to go on a tangent here, but Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, I'm trying to watch it, and I've tried to watch it twice, and it's just not hitting for me. I think I have to really focus in on it.
You do. Give it another shot.
And that was your problem with this film, Marco. It took you a bit to get there. Now, I love this film, and I think there's people that will say like because I guess now that well, let me not go there. But I think there are things in a man's life that when that line is crossed, you kind of go to like the next level. And in this film, you see a man that is obviously very skilled go to that next level. And he has this past that's hinted at throughout the film. It's kind of explicitly stated in some parts, but you kind of piece it together throughout the film. He gets out of this career and he's brought back in very violently, and boy, he takes it to like level 11. And I think as a man, as the protector of the family, I think we can all kind of understand that instinct that when certain lines are crossed, it's like it's go time. And And I think that's what really resonated with me in this film. I'll be honest, I've only seen this movie once before this week. Same with the second and the third one. I haven't yet to see the fourth one, but it was a good rewatch. And the gun choreography is fantastic, especially when you really focus on a lot of it. And it's my understanding from the people that worked on the film, they were incredibly impressed with how fast Keanu picked up, the actual things that they were teaching him, how efficient he had become. And so if you're into that kind of thing, this is definitely a good movie for that. Great story, kind of some weird shots and some weird CGI throughout the film. Like when the dog poops, it's like, well, you couldn't have just done that in a camera. But outside of that, then I think this is a great film. I think it's. A lot of people are saying this might be one of the best action franchises to date, which is extremely high praise. I would certainly agree based on the trilogy that I've seen. But yeah, this is fantastic. Bob Dylan with the super chat here. John Wick is not about a car or a puppy. It's about a widow channeling his grief and anger in the only way he knows how. That's a fantastic way to put it. Thank you, Bob Dylan, for the super chat. Dean, what was you have a dog? You love your dog. What were your thoughts on this film?
As a puppy father, I would go to great lengths to avenge my sweet boy. I mean, I'll be at the grocery store and I'm like, I wonder what Kevin's doing. I hope my dog is okay. I hope Kevin's, not sad. So this movie definitely, I'm no fucking, killer agent, but dear Lord, if somebody hurt Kevin, I would go absolutely fucking apeshit. And that's actually my only complaint about this movie, or at least this franchise, is he gets a new dog almost immediately. And it kind of undercuts this movie a little bit. But no, yeah, this movie's fucking unbelievably cool on such a ridiculous premise. I mean, the premise isn't really that they killed his dog, right? I know that was like a big thing in the trailer. It's like, you don't understand. They killed my dog. And it's like, oh, okay, he's going on this tear because they killed his dog. But that's not really what the movie's about. And to then start a whole franchise based on that is mind-blowing for the fact of how great these movies are. I think this is the strongest movie of the three that I've seen. I have not seen the fourth one yet. I heard the fourth one's really good. But yeah, this movie is great. It's great actors. John Leguizamo's in it. The dude that plays the shithead son of the Russian mobster is the guy from Game of Thrones. What's his name in Game of Thrones? Reek. Yeah.
I don't remember his
Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah, Theon. Yeah, thank you. The fucking nightclub scene, dude. Oh my god, unbelievable gunplay in that.
Wow, look at this. Look at this. Bob Dylan gifted 5 Collecting Weekly memberships.
Hey.
So looks
what
like
an absolute legend.
Jesus Christ, Mike Oxlong. Just Another Friday Night Podcast. Cram. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. That's only 4 on YouTube. I don't know who the 5th membership went to, but congratulations. And thank you, Bob Dylan, for the wonderful gift. It's on the YouTube comments.
Oh, okay, cool.
What a beautiful person.
I know, what a sweetheart. Yeah, this movie's fucking bad. I'm gonna watch it again. That's how much I like it. Just unrelenting, just fucking rage. Sometimes that's just what you need in a movie, and this movie fucking has it in fucking spades. So I love it.
Yeah, so I think I've talked a few times about my struggles to get into this film, right? So I'm really weird when it comes to buying 4K Blu-rays, but when I see a good sale, I pick them up for films that either I already love or I've heard really good things about and I want to see in the highest fidelity. So I bought 1 and 2 and 3, and it's like, okay, people love this so much. I need to see what all the fuss is about, but I just couldn't get through 1. Like I tried twice. I think it's the hyper gun violence. Like obviously there's just so much gun violence that curs that like every time I went to watch it, it was a bit upsetting to me. I think once you get the fact that it's a real world scenario, but it's kind of, this club of assassins and it's a little fantastical. I think I can, get past that a little bit more because it's just so well done. Keanu Reeves crushes it. The supporting cast, like Dean mentioned, the cinematography. I finally found a good headspace, bumped the surround sound, got my HDR settings perfect, and I was really blown away by this film. I would say, the other thing that was, kind of off-putting is how they hype him up. They hype up John Wick before we ever really see him do anything, right? It's like, I guess we see him do a little bit, but the Baba Yaga, it's like he's being so hyped up that it's like, okay, can this guy possibly live up to this legend? And you just see him do so much cool stuff throughout the film. So I will admit I'm only a partially way through the second one, or part of the way through the second one. I just keep getting interrupted by Gigi every time I try to finish it. So I'm looking forward to seeing 4 because I hear such great things about that. But it's cool that from this film that could have totally been standalone, they've been able to spin off a fuller world. And I think they're doing a spin-off with Ana de Armas is what I saw today. So this franchise is not slowing down, and I'm glad that I finally kind of gotten into it and kind of understood what all the hype is about. So definitely a film I'm glad I've given another shot.
There you go. I think John stepped away for a bit. I think, I 100% understand the gun thing. I know there's a lot of people that don't like guns. But I think as one of the protectors of your home, like I think that you can appreciate like that action that would lead you to become like, that would kind of be like the straw that broke the camel's back. Which,
absolutely.
I know this isn't necessarily on the high level about a dog dying, but that does certainly trigger the events of the film, right?
He's a man who just wants to grieve in his home, and
exactly.
He gets interrupted.
And I think,
obviously,
I think we can all respect that, right? Whether it's a gun or a pencil or whatever, like, he's really just like Bob Dylan said, just the way that he can. So, let's I guess we'll come back to John here in a bit. Dean, can we shout out the Patreonies that keep the network going, please?
Yeah, the 3 Beelers, the sweet, beautiful angels.
Wow.
Sorry.
Angels.
Give a
Selena.
Shout out to Ian CV, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan. What's up, Kevin? Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminator, Joao Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns, Figs, Badfish, Toy Cartel, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Krepp, Big Ol' Fern, Caesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonski, Rick DiGregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Alad Morgan, Tukothri Wad, Derek B, Arias Portillo, Mark Randolph, Alvin J, Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Dalmaton, Jimmy James, Stephen Purchase, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. Whoa!
A bit early there on the button. My bad.
Well,
wow.
It's got a hair trigger on this mouse. Jesus Christ. Thank you to the Patreonies. Sometimes you press the button and it'd be like 2 seconds before it goes. So I tried to time the jump. I failed a little bit on that one. The March Patreon benefits is okay. So this is actually not accurate. This is the Papa Ox magnet. We were able to get these done in magnets. I know a lot of people complain when we do stickers like, oh, I don't know where to put it. Now it's a magnet, so you can stick it on and off wherever you want. That's magnetic, and you can slap that baby onto whatever you want. We also have the OFAC Celebration sticker. These are going to be handed out this weekend of Celebration, and the excess will be sent back to Texas to be handed out for the Patreonies. So if you're in London, you want to get yours early, definitely get together with Ian and Pete on Saturday, and they'll get you a sticker. Patreon starts at $5 a month for the Ox After Dark. The digital benefits, including Ox After Dark, the Patreon chat, and the CW shoutout. $7.50 for the Sweet Angel tier. You get access to the stickers sent straight to your door and access to Ox After Dark replay. The $15 tier is a certified crispy certificate, the figure face assistance, which I had a rare cash in on that. Someone's statue had one of the wires like broke through the polystone, so I had to fix that. So that was a fun fix.
A wire, wow.
Yeah, it was
How's that happen?
Well, I think it's just the way they sculpted it. It was the Miles Morales premium format, the tentacle. There's a wire in those. Stephen Krett had chipped off a piece of the polystone, and so that was like dremeling it down, resculpting it, and then painting it. The What a Guy, $25 a month, Pog Deluxe set on your first pledge and doubles all the stickers we send, and all the benefits of the previous tier. There is another benefit that we don't do it too often, but Victoria's working on an exclusive art print. We've been posting about it on the Facebook group, so that should be done soon, and it'll be a high quality upload, so you can basically download it, take it to wherever you want, and get it printed for free for being a part of the Patreon. There'll be some different versions. I'm not sure if we're gonna kind of lock down some versions to different tiers. I don't quite know just yet, but would appreciate any feedback on that in the Patreon chat, depending on what you guys think. For membership starts at 99 cents if you're a Patreon member, or $2.99 if you're in the Peanut Gallery. You get loyalty badges, custom emojis, which we really gotta take a vote on that. And we will, well, maybe we can finalize that tonight. Dean, if you can think of the top 4 memes, and Marco and John in the private chat, if we can get something going, maybe we can start a poll real quick. And then for YouTube channel members, this is not up to date, but we have Mojo Z78, Absolute Irwin, LV Avenger 702, FG Rick, S Beam, Andres IB, Daminator, Sam Gist, Thomas Clark, Benjamin Hansen, Chris V, Big O Fern, Cram, Alvin J, OG Fan, Mark Pearson, Ben Thomas, Paul Schreiber, Andrew Gibo, CC3PO, Carlito, CT603, Eddie Mendez, B-Chan, Fat Batman, Justin Sports Cards Museum, Philip the Fool, Kiki Spinkter, Universal Key, Eclectic Collector, Two Countries, Single Songwriter, Jake, Zeke, Equan, The Everyday Collector, DJ, Toy Cartel, KJ Smith, Adrian Aguirre, Knight, Slifer, Baby Boy 562, and then we have Steph V, Mike Oxlong, and Just Another Friday Night, rounding out the membership. So we'll update that slide for next week. Here we go. The Bless You, the D's Nuts. That Seems Racial is always fun. So maybe we could do that one too. And if you can think of one more, maybe the Tough Nut. That might be one.
No, that's Ben's, but...
Well, he's usually here on Tuesday. For the network, we have After Dark tomorrow at 10:30. We have OFAC with... Iconic Studios on Thursday at 2:30. We may, Dean, if you're available, I gotta ask Badfish as well, do Cowboys Thursday night as a live stream. Friday Collectors Club, doors open at 10:30. Get your VIP booth passes in ASAP. And I don't know what we're doing on the weekend. Maybe another Ox PD. I've been spending hours tuning that mod, and I got it running spick and spin. So really excited to get to play that the next time that we do.
Spin?
Spick and what?
Yeah, spick and span. Seems racial. Yeah, there we go. T Public, you can buy some shirts if you want to rep the swag there. And John, can you read the socials, please, while I make this poll?
Yes, sir. On Facebook, we got Collecting Weekly, as well as Collecting Weekly Auxiliary, the main group. Instagram, at Collecting Weekly _clips, and at the Everyday Collector on Instagram as well. Be sure to check those out.
Yeah, let's just have a chat here for a moment. We can get this poll up and run it for a few minutes here. So that seems racial. Love that. Seems racial. Bless you. From John there. Let's see here. D's Nuts. Love that. Do you want to do the Tough Nut? We can do one more.
To me, I also like You're Not Wrong is Dean's. And also, and also the You Hate to See It are ones that I've adopted.
Yeah, You Hate to See It is good.
Okay, yeah, Hate to See It. That should be easy. Hate to See It. Okay, let's ask the community. We'll keep this poll up for a few minutes, and whatever you guys vote on, you just click it there in your browser. We'll see what we can do there. But yeah, great show tonight. I appreciate everyone that was in the live chat tonight. Appreciate the people that are gonna watch on a replay. Again, big shout out to Marco. You got 1,000 subs, and you got accepted into the partner program, which is very cool. Do you know when you're going to do your celebratory stream?
We don't know just yet. We're aiming for Saturday. So Saturday, perhaps midday. We're in the Pacific time zone. So that's what we're looking at, but we will definitely share those details on social media. You all are obviously invited if you can attend. So it'd be a really good time. Just have a little party to celebrate. Yeah. I think I mentioned already that Gigi was very unenthused by the milestone. I was like, hey, we hit 1,000 subscribers. And she was like, okay.
Why?
So that's just Gigi's mentality, right? She's never impressed. So here she comes. Go ahead, come in here. Talk to him. Talk to the people.
Yeah,
she just got home from school literally right now. So perfect timing.
Oh, congratulations, Gigi. Yay.
Hey, y'all.
You hit 1,000 subs. That's fantastic.
First of all, half of those are bought.
Don't you start that rumor.
Wow.
Don't you dare start that rumor.
Marco said that was also taxed, so you know.
Wow.
That's why I know.
I mean, this could you could have more money in your tax fund, Gigi, if he's getting all this super chats.
So I will say though, in terms of we'll announce the
Jesus.
specifics, but I think Gigi has a very specific thing in mind. If the channel makes any revenue, I think she has a specific thing on what we will do. So we'll lay it out a bit more specifically on the celebration stream. But yeah, the whole bot thing is not true. All right, we earned those followers.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
That's what all those bot buyers say.
That's right, exactly. That's exactly what they would say.
I will bring that up though because I do have a question about.
Yeah, go for it. It's your show. You know what?
No, this is not
don't
my
let
show.
Zack
though.
wrap up.
Wanna,
It's a joke.
I just want to say
obviously.
hi.
Go ahead, Gigi. What's your question?
Oh, at the end of the day, who cares? Who cares if you buy them?
Well, I think there's a bit of a difference, but anyway.
Well, I mean, I would buy them if I knew how, but no, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't. I think it's always the experience. Yeah, I mean, not that I need to know, but I mean, I wouldn't mind to know.
A friend of mine might be interested in getting to 2,000 sooner, but
Yeah, right.
Anyway, I have lots of thoughts, but we can discuss that during.
There you go.
Love you, Gigi. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye, y'all.
So looks like in the poll, hate to see it with 41%. That seems racial with 29%. D's nuts with 24%, and bless you with 6%. Let's keep this going just a few minutes longer.
We should have put I pooped my pants.
Well, so here's the thing though. We have a lot. Like we actually unlocked quite a few emojis.
I gotta put the poop in my pants.
And so we can actually create. Let me see here. For memberships, we have access to. Oh, come on. Let's see here. Where's this at? Default perks, maybe? Here we go. So we actually have access to quite a few more emojis. So
why don't we think about it and really
I want to do it now.
On
I want to do it
Facebook
now. Well, because we've been trying to. I've been doing it for like 3 weeks
Definitely
already.
needs to be one. That's a really good one.
Which one?
So we have 9 right now. We can add. If we get one more member, we can add 3 more. So maybe we can do one for Club John on Friday. You guys can vote on an emoji, and we'll figure out for the third one. But let's see here. Hate to see it 42%. So Dean, I know you're really creative there with the some of your text things. I mean, if you want to whip something up, and maybe we can see if Manny can whip something up also, and just needs to be simple, something easy they can read. So hate to see it. The next emoji voted on by the chat. Maybe Friday we'll have another vote there.
Great choice.
So congratulations, everyone. Again, Marco, congratulations. Congratulations, everyone that's going to Celebration this weekend. That's really cool. Shout out to Manny. Hit 500 subs on the tube. Yeah, love to see that. I know he's been working on YouTube for a bit. So great to see him doing his own thing and doing well with it. So yeah, I think that's all the shout outs that I had. Actually, Will Fox Vacation. It's his birthday.
Hey,
happy birthday to Will.
Happy birthday, buddy. Happy birthday. But yeah. Anyways, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm John.
And I'm Marco.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.